Wuthering Heights is the latest film from director and writer Emerald Fennel, and adaptation of Emily Bronte's classic novel. And disclaimer, I'm a huge fan of the book Wuthering Heights, so I'm very biased towards adaptations. So when somebody changes something, I'm going to be very critical of it. And that's not going to be the case for everyone, but even so, this is one of the worst adaptations of this book. Not the worst, there are much worse than this, but this adds nothing new to the story of Wuthering Heights. Like, it does what every other adaptation of the book has done. It only adapts the first half. Which, why? If you're going to adapt it, do the whole thing. Be as faithful to it as possible. Give us book accurate Heathcliff. Give us the disturbing nature that most of the movies shy away from. But no, let's just cast the whitest man alive to play Heathcliff, and let's completely change everything about the characters to the point where they're unrecognizable. And let's just film it, and let's just do what every other one has done before us, doing nothing new, nothing different, aside from making it sexy. And it's not even that sexy. I think about it. Like, I feel like Jacob Elordi, aside from, the whole thing, the whitewashing thing, he's not well cast in this movie. No one really is. It feels wrong. Everything about Wuthering Heights is wrong in this. Nellie, apparently she's a rich heiress who's the main antagonist in the movie, which, why? Why do that? And Hindley is conflated with Mr. Earnshaw, which, again, why do this? Why not just have Hindley be there? And this is extremely dumb, since they toned down the abuse Heathcliff receives, I think. Just make him a dumb drunk rather than this just horrible man who's made his life's mission to make Heathcliff's life miserable by taking away his education, pretty much depriving him of any luxury, turning him into this just brute. And in the book, Mr. Earnshaw is essentially more or less this false promise of almost good that Heathcliff is given, that essentially Hindley takes away. So we lose that. So we lose probably one of the most interesting characters of the book. And honestly, what they do with Isabella is, no. What was this? They just make her so crazy to a point where I'm just like, this isn't tragic. This is comical. And everything the characters do is wrong. Everything's wrong. What happens is wrong. This movie is just shock value for sake of shock value. There's no substance here. And the editing, this is horrific. How they edit this movie. Like, there are just moments where it feels like this is a YouTube compilation. Like, those videos those kind of romantic YouTube compilations of like famous ships in like movies and TV. This is that. It is so awful, so jarring. It feels like I'm watching the frickin' music video to Man-Child. But whereas that's 2 minutes, this is over 2 hours. So yeah, essentially we have crappy editing, a crappy script, and just some of the worst casting, I think, for any adaptation of a famous novel. Like, this sucked. There are going to be people who probably like this, the cinematography is very good, and I think people probably will very much like that part of it, and they'll probably like it well enough, but I'm just going to say it, Emerald Fennel's a hack. That Oscar win was a freaking fluke. She's not a good writer. she's very much some, I'll say this, she feels like a fanfic writer. And I don't mean that to insult like people who like write on like archives of our own and other sites like that, but some of this writing, it's just random slang from modern day put in here, some just really weird banter between them, and just some dialogue that I'm just like, this is from an Oscar winner? What the heck? And I will say the best way I could say what Emerald Fennel's Wuthering Heights is, it feels like someone read the book, didn't pick it up for 10 years, and then decided to try to make a movie about it from memory without ever taking any sources or trying to do any research. And apparently, that's what she did. She admits to doing this in an interview. And honestly, she was the wrong person for this project. She never should have touched this. Emerald Fennel was the complete wrong person to touch Wuthering Heights. She doesn't understand the book, probably because, let's be honest, she's a little, her filmography, she does seem to kind of sympathize with the rich, which Wuthering Heights very much is a movie that almost mocks a lot of the kind of social norms, and essentially the kind of class warfare there of that time. And you can tell, and Fennel just is too elitist for something like this. You need someone who really understands this book, and you know, I would not mind another Wuthering Heights adaptation, but actually adapt the book, and give us what we want from it. Go into after Catherine's death. Okay, spoiler there, but the book's been out for like 200 years. Everyone knows it by now. Go after that. Show Heathcliff descent into madness. That's the stuff that no one does, and it's the best stuff of the book. So in all, awful movie, don't waste your time with this. Just freaking watch the Juliette Binoche and Ralph Fiennes version. It's cheaper to buy, and it understands the story a lot better. Don't waste your time. Just see a better version of this story.